be with you. And folks, excited to share the news with you. And this is absolutely hilarious because Donald Trump posted something to Truth Social, and it is absolutely hilarious. If you can read between the lines, because he just dropped like a truth nuke on Vladimir Zelensky, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I can't wait to cover that. Also, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Seditious Six and what's going on there and just how bad that is, as well as J.D. Vance had a great statement as well. So do me a favor, do smash that like, do chat in with where you're from. Love to see who's on the stream. The Frog Feeder, good to see you on from Butte County, California. See, folks, if you don't think there's conservatives in California, you just saw one. It's like, what's that, when you're looking for something that's really rare, I don't know. I can't even remember the term now. But anyways, he's right there. Anyways, no, there's actually a lot of conservatives in California, especially when you go to Northern California. So anyhow, very cool. Oh, also, folks, go check out the deals right now in MyPillow, mypillow.com/slumberjack, or call the 800 number at 1-800-568-2865. You guys know how I feel about Giza Sheets. The greatest, it's like his greatest product. I mean, I think it's his greatest product. I mean, I got 3. I love the towels. I love the sheets. I love the pillows, obviously. The travel pillow a lot. But I just found out, and I ordered, it's on its way. He has Giza cotton blankets. Are you kidding me? I mean, if Giza sheets weren't enough, he has Giza cotton blankets and the duvets for covering your, because everybody wants a down comforter. But anyways, for covering your down comforter is Giza cotton as well. So anyways, they're all on sale, all at mypillow.com/lumberjack. Big deals on the best sleep products available. 1-800-568-2865. All right, check this out. I'm going to read from Trump's Truth that he posted here at just after 1 o'clock today. He said, over the past week, my team has made tremendous progress with respect to ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. A war that never would have started if I were president. Last month, 25,000 soldiers died. Think about that, folks. Ukraine and Russia are losing an entire generation of young men. An entire generation. The original 28-point peace plan, which was drafted by the United States, so you remember he had proposed that before, Vladimir Zelensky had to be told he didn't have all the cards, which seemed fairly obvious, but anyways, has been fine-tuned with additional input from both sides. And there are only a few remaining points of disagreement. In the hopes of finalizing this peace plan, see if you catch what's coming. In the hopes of finalizing this peace plan, by the way, comment if you catch what he did here. I have directed my special envoy, Steve Witkoff, to meet with President Putin in Moscow. And at the same time, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll will be meeting with the Ukrainians. I will be briefed on all progress made, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. Good to see you on South Carolina. Did you guys catch what Donald Trump did there in the phrasing? I look forward to hopefully meeting with President Zelensky and President Putin soon, but only when the deal to end this war is final or in its final stages. Thank you for your attention to this very important matter, and let's hope that peace can be accomplished as soon as possible. Anybody catch it? Come on, somebody had caught this, folks. It's just... Okay, I'm going to read it one more time. Somebody out there has got to catch this. I'll spill the beans on it. Okay. Only a few remaining points of disagreement. In the hopes of finalizing this peace plan, I have directed my special envoy, Steve Witkoff, to meet with President Putin in Moscow. And at the same time, Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, will be meeting with the Ukrainians. I will be briefed on all progress made, along with Vice President so-and-so. Exactly. Linda Lou, you got it. They will meet with the Ukrainians. Okay, it's President Putin and is meeting, Steve Witkoff's meeting with President Putin in Moscow, and at the same time, Secretary of Army Dan Driscoll will be meeting with the Ukrainians. And then he won't even meet with Zelensky at all. He'll meet with both of them when the deal is done. He's frustrated with Putin too. But my gosh, folks, that is just, I mean, oh my word. They'll be meeting with the Ukrainians, but, so they'll be meeting with, Steve Witkoff will be meeting with President Putin. Okay, Zelensky is not named until the end when he says he'll meet with him when a deal is done or close to being done. Do you remember when Vladimir Zelensky, that ungrateful guy, I just cannot. And then, do you remember when he told us that our sons and daughters would be fighting in a war if we didn't step up more billions for Ukraine? Do you guys remember these comments? Because I do. This guy thinks we're just supposed to send him untold billions of dollars, when, in fact, Joe Biden, if you recall, basically said that Putin could go in there. Do you remember that piece of the puzzle too? I mean, I remember that. Signaled that we wouldn't do anything. It was almost like they baited Putin into it. Then they kept pushing. So Putin had a simple thing, man. NATO cannot expand here. And then they weren't supposed to get into NATO. And then all of a sudden, Europe is saying, oh, they should be in NATO. And it was just constantly pushing Putin over the red line. So now everybody acts like, oh my gosh, they're ceding. Do you know, folks, do you realize this? That there was actually, when you go to that eastern Ukraine, that they actually shelled their own people who were sympathetic to Russia? Yeah, that's right. I remember that too. That's right. He was going to sign the deal. Then all the Democrats got together and said, don't sign it. Which brings me to the seditious six, since I can't stop talking about the seditious six. And this brings me to the whole problem with the Washington establishment. Okay? And here, J.D. Vance, I want you to listen to what J.D. Vance had to say. After 4 years of house prices doubling, and in some areas tripling, many young people feel priced out of the American dream of home ownership. A welfare fraud scandal in Minnesota reveals that large numbers of new arrivals aren't assimilating and are funneling our tax dollars to literal terrorist groups. Have you guys heard about this? Al-Shabaab terror network being funded by Minnesota taxpayers as they claim higher rates of, is it autism? What was it that they were claiming so that they could get more money? I think it was autism. Anyways, an innocent woman was set on fire in Chicago as the mayor resists federal law enforcement resources to bring peace to one of our great cities. Did you guys hear this? Yeah, woman literally lit on fire on the the train. The L, if you've ever ridden it, it's not like a subway. It rides up between the buildings. Anyways, I've been on it. I've visited Chicago a few times. I worked out there for a while. Anyways, set on fire in Chicago as the mayor resists federal law enforcement resources to bring peace to one of our great cities. The Obamacare insurance system is buckling under its own weight, and the country is $38 trillion in debt. And why, folks? Now the Democrats, I'll tell you what, man. Their friends in the media are helping them, and give them credit because they're smart. They set those Obamacare credits to expire when Trump was in office. You guys all realize this, right? Do you think they had a plan? I don't care what you think about them. These are conniving, scheming politicians, man. They're actually fairly sharp in trying to sway public opinion, and they know that their henchmen in the media will carry their water for them. You do understand this, right? So when they set those tax credits to expire, they timed it out. So when Trump was in, and now what are we supposed to do? These insurance premiums are going to go way up. Yeah, because it's buckling under the weight of its own failure. It never should have actually been put in place. Obamacare is a pathetic piece of crap legislation. I can constantly say it. My health insurance premiums went from $400 a month to over $2,000 a month. Hold on a sec here. I got to get back to J.D. Vance, but I saw a comment. Lena J. 617 says, I trust Susie Wiles. You guys don't trust her. Marion says she trusts Susie Wiles. Here's a scoop on Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles came to Donald Trump when no one else did. Now, you can say she's a plant, you can say she's whatever, but Donald Trump trusts Susie Wiles. And Susie Wiles has done more to keep that White House from leaking stuff than... And do you remember the first Trump administration and all the leaks to the press all the time? Do you guys remember this? Like the first Trump administration, the press was having a field day dealing with backstabbers out of the Trump administration leaking information to the press. Remember, I mean, you know, the suckers and losers, okay? All this kind of crap. Well, anyways, Susie Wiles has stopped the leaking. Have you realized that we're not getting leaks coming out of the White House? So say what you want about her. I think she's done a great job anyhow. So I tend to agree with you folks. Doesn't mean I trust her. I mean, obviously, you know, okay. Lord help me. Okay, folks, do you realize I tend to like most of Donald Trump's decisions, and I like how he has secured our border, how he's deported people. But do you realize he doesn't always make the right decisions? Like, nobody makes the right decisions all the time. No one. Like, literally no one. Except Jesus, you know, and came as a man, fully did the will of his Father, nothing outside of the will of his Father. So can we just... So people say, well, he trusted Marjorie Taylor Greene. He trusted Chris Christie, folks. You know, I mean, people say they're your friend and then they're not, and all this stuff just happens, okay? Okay, now Linda Luce says she said the 2020 elections were fair and good. She did at one time, but she's changed her tune. That's a whole other story that's been breaking in the news lately. I wasn't even going to cover that tonight. Yeah, Susie Wiles, that was due to at the behest of Elon Musk. There's a whole story behind that. Anyways, I'm going to go back to my news because I love you folks. You guys will get me off track. I have the greatest audience, and they want to get me off track more than any other podcaster or YouTuber out there. But I still love you. All right, here we go. Okay, our administration is working hard on addressing these problems. This is going back to J.D. Vance talking about all these problems. But you know what really fires up the Beltway GOP, folks? Come on, you guys, what really fires up the Beltway GOP? Let's see if you guys can answer the question, okay? Come on. What really fires up the Beltway GOP? Because none of these things seem to be firing up because we haven't seen one single judge kicked out of here. Thank you, Gerald. I saw that comment. Yeah, it was a fun video to do with the kids, okay? Obviously, the Somalian fraud in Minnesota hasn't gotten them worked up. They could have canceled Obamacare during Trump's first administration, but Paul Ryan and the GOP establishment decided that wasn't good. Okay? Help me out here, folks. What fires up the Beltway GOP more than anything? Because none of these issues that we care about, like the fact that Tina Peters is in solitary confinement, the fact that Tina Peters is even in jail, what fires them up? Come on, I want to see some answers in the chat. Money, Emma Girl, that's a good answer. Okay, we love getting you going. Thank you. It's so for losing their money, folks. The political class right now is really angry. And they're angry over one thing, and J.D. Vance nails it here. The Trump administration may finally bring a 4-year conflict in Eastern Europe to a close. That's right. What's fired them up? What they're frustrated with Trump about? Don Bacon out of Nebraska said he might pull an MTG. Did you guys hear this? They're freaking out. Don Bacon, chief rhino, swamp creature extraordinaire, says he may pull an MTG now because Trump's plan to end the war in Ukraine. I kid you freaking not. Seriously. They're all upset about that. These people, folks, I have been like trying to find news to cover lately. I'll just be honest. I haven't been feeling it. Sorry. We should just get on here and just do Bible discussions, because I am getting so disappointed with our political system right now. So I'm sorry, that's why I haven't been doing as many videos. I look at the news and I go, there's not even a story I want to cover. I'm totally serious. I edited that video with my children the other day doing the hunting. That was fun. That was fun. And I think, teaching these skills to them has been great. But folks, I am telling you, I am so sick of these politicians. I really am. I just am. And Donald Trump was elected with a mandate. We can't even, folks, do you realize we can't even confirm an attorney that can prosecute James and Comey? You guys do understand that's what happened with the James and Comey thing, right? Lindsey Halligan, she wasn't confirmed by the Senate, right? But they couldn't confirm. We can't get any. We've got many seats opened, and our Republican Senate can't confirm them. Oh, I almost swore. I did. I almost let an Effenheimer slip. I don't even cuss. I'm so sick of this. Like, how many of you want to see accountability? How many? I think my audience wants to see accountability, don't you? I mean, don't you want to see? I mean, Tish James ran on getting Trump. She never investigated a crime. She investigated the person, and then she's crying because somehow Trump's doing a political witch hunt. This is wrong with this crap we're dealing with. Back to the news. I'm sorry, I went off there. I can't get you. I can't get down on you folks, man. But I do get frustrated. I mean, I know that our lives are secure in Christ, and I know all that. I look here and I'm tired of them taking our money and wasting it and spending it on evil things too. Anyways, I'm not even back to JD Vance. I'm not even talking about the substance of their views. Much of what these people have said about the Ukraine war has been proven wrong. But whatever, we can agree to disagree. But the level of passion over this one issue when your own country has serious problems is bonkers. And he's right. It disgusts me. Show some passion for your own country. I mean, JD Vance is nailing it. The Beltway GOP can't get fired up about stopping fraud. They can't get fired up about the Doge effort, which was phenomenal, and actually codifying Trump's executive orders. They can't get fired up about getting rid of Obamacare and putting something else in place, which, by the way, I don't want the government in my health care anyways. I'm just going to be honest. I know some people are just all buzzed up about that. They just love, oh, big daddy government, please, 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 I need you in my health care. Okay, if you guys want to see health care costs go down, get the government out of it. Get the government out of it. Okay. Let me see. I want to talk about the seditious six, but I'm going to read something to you from the Washington Monthly first, because this is the Beltway GOP kind of establishment crap going on right here. 3 lessons from Trump's latest plan for Ukraine. Byline: whatever emerges from the U.S.-Ukrainian talks in Geneva, nothing good is likely to come from this recipe for appeasing Moscow. Okay, let's just kind of analyze that just a touch. So you take these the Donbass region, Crimea, that were getting shelled by the Ukrainian government, who many of these people, my understanding is, correct me if I'm wrong, they actually would rather be with Russia. And that's appeasing Moscow? No, you know what, Zelensky? Just go shell them some more. Okay? So the whole premise of this is dumb. The world appears to have dodged a bullet. Donald Trump and team are walking back from their latest and most outlandish proposal for peace in Ukraine. American and Ukrainian negotiators meeting in Geneva are working to revise the plan, and U.S. and European officials have agreed to meet separately to discuss its implications for NATO and European Union. The outcome of these talks is unknown, and it's hard to imagine a deal that will satisfy all parties. The Russian, Ukrainian, and European positions remain starkly at odds. But whatever the results, some things are already clear, including 3 lessons for the U.S. and Europe. Kiev and its European allies have long feared that Trump would betray Ukraine by using U.S. leverage to impose an unfair, unrealistic peace settlement modeled on a real estate deal, splitting the difference between the two sides. In this case, a rapacious aggressor and its much smaller neighbor struggling to defend itself. In fact, the 28-point peace plan last week was far worse than that. It didn't even pretend to split the difference. With a few minor exceptions, Moscow got everything it wanted and Ukraine got nothing. The deal rewarded the aggressor and pummeled the victim, strengthening a voracious Russia while enriching the U.S. Guess what? It's not our problem. Folks, it is not our problem. It's not our problem. So we don't need to be over there. We don't need to solve the problems between Russia and Ukraine yet. Here we are, stuck in it. But Washington wasn't just betraying Ukraine. The proposed deal would also be disastrous for Europe. Oh, Europe. You mean the ones who want to impose tariffs on us, but as soon as we impose tariffs back, they freak out. You mean Europe that has continued to use our money for NATO when they don't contribute jack? Please. Please, we've been getting hosed by all these countries, and then all of a sudden Trump comes in and pushes back, and then the Washington Beltway freaks out. Are you kidding me? I can't even read any more of it. You guys got my opinion on this, right? I can't. All right, I'm going to read you something out of Real Clear Defense because this is really good. Political Stunt Endangers America by Francis P. Sempa. 6 Democratic members of Congress, Alyssa Slotkin, Mark Kelly, Maggie Goodlander, Chrissy Houlihan, Chris DeLuzio, and Jason Crow, in a reckless and dangerous political stunt, made a social media video that urges members of our armed forces and intelligence community to question and disobey the orders of their commander-in-chief, President Donald Trump. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and the Commander-in-Chief and the Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Ratcliffe. The 6 members of Congress claim that President Trump is issuing illegal orders. The threats to our country, they say, are not just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. They are right about that. Their political stunt is indeed a threat to the country. I'm telling you what, folks, we just lived through the Biden administration where they were on auto pen. Joe Biden, they were hiding everything from us. You want to talk about treason? You want to talk about betraying the country? We had a president that everybody, quote unquote, voted for, 81 million, okay? And somehow he couldn't even sign anything. He wasn't even running anything. He had early onset dementia. And we're going to talk about putting out a video about Donald Trump? Are you kidding me? The 6 members of Congress say they want to speak directly to members of the military and intelligence community. The Trump administration, they say, is pitting the military and intelligence services against the American people. Let me ask you a question. You, in my listening audience, right now, answer this. Has Donald Trump pitted the military and intelligence community against you? Yes or no? Just answer that in the chat. Let's see how this looks. Because I haven't felt any military presence around me or intelligence community presence around me. I do know that the intelligence community has been intercepting phone calls and worried about trigger words and all that kind of stuff. That's been going on since the Cold War. Exactly. No, thank you. Katerina, thanks for modding for me tonight too. Katerina, you're wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so here's the thing. The 6 members of Congress, okay, that have pitted themselves against these illegal orders, it's BS. In wartime, such reckless and dangerous behavior would not be tolerated. Listen to this. Oh, I got a super chat here. I got a newsflash. GOP and deep state Ukraine is losing. Well, they are pretty crikin' entrenched, okay? President Lincoln is worth remembering, jailed some Maryland state legislatures who intended to vote for secession. President Wilson, during World War I, had Eugene Debs prosecuted for attempting to cause insubordination with the armed forces. I'm going to give you a little history here on this, too. Eugene V. Debs. I grew up in Debs, Minnesota. It was named after Eugene V. Debs. I live around Hibbing, Minnesota. This is where Eugene V. Debs led his quote-unquote labor revolution and ran for president 5 times, his most successful campaign being from prison, okay? And he was prosecuted with attempting to cause insubordination within the armed forces. He was a communist, folks. Oh, we got 777 of you on. Smash that like. That's awesome. That's the number of perfection, okay? What if our Air Force pilots weren't sure if President Trump's order to bomb Iran's nuclear facilities was legal? Some Democrats claim that wasn't legal and therefore refused to carry out the mission. What if our naval air commanders question the legality, as some lawmakers have, of military strikes against narcotics traffickers in international waters and refuse to obey the order to attack? What if the officers in the 7th Fleet think that any order to defend Taiwan against attacks or invasion by China without a declaration of war is unconstitutional and refuse what they view as an illegal order? The potential scenarios of insubordination are endless, folks. And that's why you don't do this. That's why the seditious six, that's why Mark Kelly does need to be brought back onto active duty. That's why he does need to face military justice. Okay? Folks, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? On March 15, 1783, at Temple Hall in New Windsor, New York, the stoic humility of General George Washington quelled a budding mutiny among officers in the Revolutionary Army. 4 years later, Benjamin Franklin, when asked what the founders had created after establishing the Constitution, said, "A republic, if you can keep it." On November 19th, 1863, Abraham Lincoln at Gettysburg resolved that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. The 6 lawmakers who made that execrable video encouraging insubordination by our soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and airwomen have much to answer for. All right, thanks so much for listening. Remember, please go check out my sponsor, MyPillow. Seriously, the deals over there are fantastic. Early Black Friday deals and free shipping. Did I mention free shipping? And you can get Giza cotton in your blankets. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited because Giza sheets are the greatest thing known to man. So go check it out at mypillow.com/lumberjack or call the 800 number at 1-800-568-2865. We'll see you on the next episode. I love y'all. Peace out.